merging the two companies together, and I'm happy to answer questions about that as we move forward. So when I talk about Forever, I like people to know there are 5 things, and it's 5 so that when I'm at conferences, I always remember to hit them all. So the first one is permanent, and we'll go into deep detail on all these, but permanent. So Forever is the first permanent cloud storage, and we'll talk about what makes that different from others. We're private, we're secure, we're shareable, and we're mobile. So when you think about your most precious family treasures, your photos, videos, artwork, documents that have been handed down with all those stories, you want to make sure that they're put into a really, really safe place, and you want to make sure that, that only the right people can get to them, but you also want to make sure that it's not in, and I'm going to use the word vault, not in a vault where they're not able to be saved and enjoyed. And so what Forever's done is created this digital place that can be very safe and very secure and and 100% owned and managed by the user, but allows them to share and access it very freely. So just quickly about me, my name is Ellie Gatilla. I'm responsible for membership services. So I have accountability for our customer care. So we have a 1-800 number, it's an 888 number. We take inbound emails, tickets. We offer help support online. We also offer media conversion services. So when I first was brought on, my first mission was to decide what equipment we were going to use and how we were going to deliver our media conversion services for videos, photos, documents, artifacts, slides. I like to tell people if you send it to me, I will digitize it. So I will find a way to make anything preserved in the fashion that it's meant to be on Forever as part of a story. I also am responsible for sales. I'm responsible for our marketing program. I'm responsible for our event. We've participated in some really large events, and we're hosting our very first user conference, Forever Live, here in the fall. And the reason why Forever was important to me is that I do believe that every life matters, and I believe that in a family, every story that's told provides value to future generations. And having been, I'm a 3rd generation Italian here in the Pittsburgh area, and just knowing that has helped me throughout my life understand a little more about who I am. But as I find out more and more pieces about my Italian heritage, particularly around sharing photos with my family and learning the stories, I just feel like my experience personally is much richer. And so I believe that we should grab the stories and make sure that they're preserved and able to be shared into the future. So let's talk about Forever. So I wanted to share with you some of the materials that we use. So this is a video that's on our website. We call it an explainer video, so it's about 1 minute and 30 seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and play it. Let me know if you cannot hear the music. Oops, excuse me.
Did you know that every minute over 1.5 billion photos are taken? And right there, see, there goes another selfie. And over 500 million photos are shared every day. That's a lot of photos. And they're more than that to you. They're irreplaceable memories. We feel the same way. That's why we created Forever.com, the world's first permanent online storage and sharing service. Forever is your new digital home. It's where you organize, sort, and share your photos, documents, and very important artwork, all in one place. And here's the big difference between Forever and other digital storage sites. You own your content, no advertisers, no third parties mining your data, and we are the only storage site that is guaranteed for your lifetime plus 100 years. Forever is private, affordable, and trustworthy. It's protected, triple backed up and encrypted, no more lost photos to crash drives or bad dogs. Forever was designed with your busy life in mind. Our mobile app hosts your photos automatically, and our site helps you easily organize all those great memories. So whether you're the family historian, a serious scrapbooker, or just trying to preserve as many moments as possible, Forever is for you. Okay, it's time for another photo, and there's a sweet moment right there. Visit Forever.com today and give your photos a new digital home. Forever.com, because every life matters.
So we use that as a mechanism to communicate with people on the website. One of the things about Forever is that it's new, and so if you do a search for permanent online storage, I hope Forever comes up first. I'm pretty sure it will, and you won't see any other competitors because in the world of cloud storage, it's all subscription. So you pay by the month, you pay by the year, but you're only paying you're only renting that particular space. So I like to use the analogy that with Forever, you're buying your digital real estate in the cloud. You're actually buying an address, which is your domain name, and you're buying the acreage that your digital home is going to reside in. And your house can be as small or as big as you want it to be, that cloud storage. But what's different is, and I looked at a couple of sites before I got on the call, they're all looking for how do I pay my operational fees right now today. So they're not looking towards the future, and they're not thinking about particularly your family treasures and how are they going to propagate them so that in future generations, in 100 years, how are people going to view photos and videos, and what devices will be out there. So they're really, their operating plan is, sure, they want to grow as a business, but their operating plan is secured only by somebody keeping a subscription up. So if you stop paying that subscription, they have no obligation to you any longer. So with Forever, it's really, the permanence is something that's really different and unique. So we use the video to help to articulate that. So let's talk a little bit about what does it mean to be permanent, because a lot of people kind of give you the sure, Forever, permanent, I'll believe it when I see it. But what's important is understanding that when we make those bold marketing statements, that we have business fundamentals underneath them to make sure that we keep to those commitments. So the very first thing is that all the money that we receive for storage is put into an investment fund. So with all the subscription services out there, that goes into operating funds, which means they're using that money right now today to keep the servers up, to keep the documents and to employ the people, et cetera, et cetera. At Forever, we take all the money that we get for storage and we put it into a fund. And the reason for that is we want to build the equivalent of an endowment, like a big university endowment that's worth, tens of millions of dollars. And what that does is it allows for us to know that we're going to be able to pay for things into the future. So right now the endowment is worth about $1.8 million. And as that money grows over time, it's meant to pay for the cloud storage and the preservation of the memories, the people to keep the company running, as well as file migration in the future. So all of us, I'm sure, have experienced having old media, whether it be printed photos or VHS tapes, beta tapes, reels, slides, negatives, etc. And it's important for us to get those into a digital format. Not to say that the physical is not important too, but it's important in this day and age to make them digital. And so now that we're making them digital, how are we going to make sure that we don't have to go through this process of conversion again in the future? And one of the commitments that Forever makes is with the money in the fund, we are going to invest in the technology and the people to make sure that we're migrating those file formats forward. We also like to make sure people know that we are always thinking about, or that it's up to you what you store. So you can store your highest resolution photo, you can store low resolution photos, you can compress files if you want to, but it's always in the control of the user. So if you put a file up and it's at the highest resolution, it will stay in the highest resolution unless you change it. And I bring that up because a lot of other storage sites compress the files. So if it's free, remember they have to pay for that storage space somehow, and so in order for them to continue with their operation, oftentimes they may, in their terms of service, allow themselves to compress it. So let's take a minute and talk about privacy and security. Hot topic in the news and making sure that you're protecting your personal data. Forever does not data mine, which means that whenever you become an intro member or a permanent member or get on our mailing list, we don't sell our mailing list. We don't advertise. We promote our products, right? So we talk about our products in the community and we talk about promotions that we're having. But there is no advertising on the site, and there's absolutely no selling or usage of data in the fashion around marketing. again, bring that up as an education piece. A lot of times when you're doing something for free online, we have to be thinking about, well, when I put my email address in there, obviously I'm going to start getting more emails, but did I read the fine print that says they're going to sell my email address, or they're going to sell my personal data, or they're going to watch what I do on the computer so that people can market better to me? In Forever, you own your content and your identity. There are some services, some free photo sharing services, that when you put that photo up there, or if you put that document up there, they actually own your content and they can use it to market. Facebook is a great example. Terms of service say that it's actually theirs and they can use it for marketing, and it's in that public domain. And then on the privacy front, you control who sees what. So in the privacy settings, it's very much centered around the user. So the privacy settings are very apparent. They're not hidden. You can make albums private or share them with friends and family. You can share individual albums. You can share individual photos, but it's all in the control and in the forefront, because privacy is something that we think is very important for family photo preservation and making sure that we're protecting them. The other thing that's not necessarily detailed up here, but we're triple backed up, which means that there are 3 different services that ensure the safety of the photos and the videos as they're being held on Forever. That means that if any of the services were to go down, or if any of the services were to go out of business, we have a redundant service to make sure that they stay up. So that's something that's, so when you go with one particular company for, say, backup, if something were to happen to them and they were going to close tomorrow, and they're kind of stuck, right? Whereas with Forever, we have these 3 different services to make sure that our the photos and videos are always available, and that if one company's having a problem or a change, the other one's always back there to catch it. We're also encrypted, and what encrypted means is that it is not viewable as it's being transmitted. So the only time that your photos are at risk of being viewed or taken or what have you is when it's actually on your computer. That's the only place where the photos are actually at risk. So as the data is being transmitted between the servers and your computer, or the servers and your phone, it's kind of jumbled up into bits and it's split in the transmission. So there's no way for anybody to capture that data and use it other than if they were to take a picture of your computer or phone. Now we get to talk about the joyous part. So in Forever, you can organize your photos into albums. You can tag your photos. You can put metadata. You can put names and dates. And you can organize them and curate and tell the story however you'd like. One of the key messages on this particular slide that I like to highlight is that Forever isn't just about pictures, and it's about capturing the things digitally so that you can tell the story. So you see that we have the artwork and the plates and that blue dog. So those are actual things that were made by children that the mom took a picture of and puts it up on Forever, puts a story about why it was created and which child it was, and can tell a whole story around it. And then you get rid of that mom guilt, right? Do I have to save every piece of art that my child makes? Well, sure, you can do that on Forever, and you can do it digitally, and then you can slowly phase out the physical objects over time. Our mobile app. So one of the key missions is to make sure that you can access these photos, when you're traveling, when you're working, when you're at the ball field, etc. And we offer the mobile app on all iOS and Android devices. I'll tell you something, if you haven't tried the Forever app yet, it's really nice. It automatically backs up all of your photos. So, when you get that notification from Apple that you're blowing through your cloud storage, hey, throw your photos up onto Forever. You paid for your real estate there. You don't have to pay Apple again. And it really is a reassurance to make sure that you have that backup. I just dropped my phone the other day at a conference and had to hurry and get a new one. And I literally had to do nothing because all my photos were up on Forever, so I didn't have to transition any data. It was already available to me. Then when we talk about sharing, we've designed Forever, again, not to be a vault that you can't share with people, but actually we've designed it such that you can share with people in the manner that you want to. So there's the opportunity to have friends and family that you invite into your Forever account that you share freely with and openly with. So on my account, I can go to my dad's account and I can look through his albums, and I can look at my grandparents' account, all actually from my phone now. So it's like I carry all of our family stories with me wherever I go. Now, I like to talk about my squirrely cousin. I probably don't want my squirrely cousin to have access to all my photos because he's going to throw some stickers on them and give me, like, you know, hats and things like that that I may not like. So I can share specific things with him or her. So I can share the album, or I can share the photo with them, but I'm not obligated to share all of my things with that particular individual. And there are a lot of controls over it. You can turn sharing on and off. So if you change your mind, you can always retract the sharing, which is really, really nice as well. So our key mission is to help customers to preserve their most important memories with our easy-to-use software. So remember, it's one permanent place for all of the digital memories, the photos, soon videos and audio, documents, and being easily accessible through any computer device. Clear ownership of photos, videos, documents, you own it. If you take the time to read the terms of service, they're all favorable to you, and our mission is to make sure that you know that you own them in the cloud. The insurance plan. So one of the key differentiators is, as you're listening to the presentation, think about it. Are there any other companies out there that are maniacally focused on photos and that are planning for the future for your photos? There are great companies out there that are doing really neat things, but is their mission fully around preserving being the place where you want to manage your memories, curate your stories, and share them for generations? You can create the beautifully organized, curated albums, share with friends and family, and then of course we're adding print capability. So one of the great things about the acquisition of Panstoria is we know that they have a great print shop. So over the course of the next 6 months, we're going to be bringing all of those different pieces together to allow you to print calendars, books, cards, scrapbooks from the Artisan tool or similar to Artisan, but leveraging the Forever services as the cloud storage. So we're really excited about that. And then Anna suggested that I mentioned that we're also working on the ability to scrapbook from your phone. So we expect a lighter version of a scrapbooking tool to be available through the Forever mobile apps, which would allow you to access art kits and things of that nature so that you could create on the go. And that we're hoping to see later this summer, which would also allow you to print those things from your phone.
If I could just applause right now, if you could hear me, it would be like huge applause. That's such a big thing. Everybody's got to be super excited about that.
I am.
I didn't interrupt you, sorry.
Does anyone have any questions at this point?
I don't see any right now. If you do have any questions, just go ahead and type them in and I will answer them.
Sure. So if we could take a moment for this video, this is a beautiful video that we create here at Forever. So we do offer videography, and we've done several nice videos for families, particularly capturing sort of the older gentleman. It seems to be the older gentleman, right? Oh, and one lovely, lovely, lovely woman who was an Australian. She's Australian, lives here in Pittsburgh, and she was a art director during the Mad Men period, a charming lady. But this particular video was a memorial that we created about this gentleman. His name is Bruce Edwards. He was a local pastor and passed away suddenly. And this video was created to memorialize him, but also talk about families needed to use Forever at their place to keep things as well, and to make sure that Bruce's legacy is able to live on for that beautiful little girl right there. So here's another.
Bruce and I were married for 35 years. It's important for me to tell this story for not just for my children and my children's children, but for so many people that knew him and loved him.
It's important for me to tell his story because at the most basic level, he's not here to tell it himself. my husband and my children and our extended family and our friends will be able to have one common place where they can hear these stories.
To be able to show my kids that this is your family, this is the most amazing gift, and that we have not only an incredible legacy behind us, but an incredible responsibility. At Forever.com, you can protect and preserve your family memories permanently.
Bruce was my brother, and there's just the two of us, so we were very special to each other. He was my little brother. I'm going to tell you something. We made a story every day.
Now, you can archive and organize the generations all in one place.
I will tell my kids that my dad was one of my favorite people that I've ever known and will ever know. And I'll tell them how fun he was and how much he loved them.
He would be humbled to hear us talk about him. He really would. I mean, he'd say, "What? When did that happen?" As a Forever member, you connect and share with family and friends privately.
Privacy is a very big thing to me. I'm actually not even on Facebook, and I am very hesitant to put pictures of my kids online. But I feel the security of the site is unique, and I don't think that my information or my pictures are going to be manipulated or used in any way that I wouldn't want that to happen.
As a mom, I'm particularly aware of what I'm putting on the web and the pictures and the memories and the information that I'm putting out there. And so the fact that Forever is a secure place that we can share the most important memories for generations to come, and that I don't have to be concerned about who else is going to see them, what's going to happen to them.
Another great part of the Forever story is that it's just us being able to memorialize these ideas and these thoughts in somewhere other than our own brains, be there forever.
He wanted to leave a legacy. And I think he'd be stunned at the legacy that he's left. Forever. Because every life matters.
So when we think about making choices about where we want to keep these things, there are a lot of options out there, and it's sort of a very crowded space. So when Glenn Meekum, our founder, sat down in 2012 and he said, you know what, I need a new mission. I want to go create a new company. This is I think it's his 8th company that he started. He said, I want to do something different. I want to do something meaningful. And so he looked around at all the alternatives and he said, you know what's not out there? There's nothing out there that's permanent. There's nothing out there that is making an audacious statement to say, in the world of cloud storage, we are finding a way to ensure that when people make this decision that they can have the trust and the confidence that when they put their photos and their precious treasures on Forever, that they will be there. So when we look at the market, we spend a lot of time comparing ourselves to companies who do cloud storage. So like Carbonite's a backup, or Apple could be considered a photo sharing, but they also have the cloud. Dropbox is a cloud storage. And then we also compare ourselves to photo sharing sites and video sharing sites, and we also compare ourselves a little bit to social media, because we do a little bit of all of those different things. And where we focus the attention is, so there are a lot of great places that can display your photos really nicely, or that you can make a book, or that you can share a link and things like that. But what Forever is seeking to differentiate themselves is to be maniacally focused on the family memories, and maniacally focused on how do we preserve those and give people opportunities to celebrate with them. And so we differentiate ourselves against the competition by that mission. But then on top of that, it's the idea that it's permanent, it's private, it's personal, and it's secure. And so when we go out, the mobile apps are a dime a dozen. There are plenty of them out there. I mean, they come standard on your phone. So what is it really that makes Forever different? And so it's the idea of creating this permanence. And again, the permanence really shows itself through the financials. So again, just to reiterate, we take all of the money for the storage and we put it into this investment fund. And as it grows over time, it will fuel the storage, the payment of the storage in the future and the migration of the information in the future. So the way I look at it is there's nobody out there other than Forever who's taking the money and putting it literally where our mouth is and making sure that that money is going to be available for us in the future. And there's an entire 12-page document about the policies of the guarantee fund that says if anything were to happen to Forever, that money cannot be used for sales and marketing. It can only be used for the preservation of the photos and the videos that are entrusted to us. If somebody were to buy us, they can't use the funds for anything other than continuing the commitments that we've made to our clients to preserve the memories. So I feel very strongly that with our vision and our focus, even like 100%, what we think about every day is how do we help people to save and cherish their memories, plus the financial plan underneath it, plus our operations plan that says, okay, here's what happens in the event that, the company doesn't grow at the rate that we expect it to, and all these people have trusted us. We have a plan that says the money will be used from the fund to continue providing the services for as long as we can. There will be communications that go out to the community saying, here's where we are, and you can still trust us for another year. We'll be here for another year. And at the end of it, there's a plan that says, gosh, if we can't provide the services, we will be giving these assets back to our clients. And whether we do that on a, you can today take all of your photos from the site at any time that you would like. You can, take them down in bulk and say, oh, I feel like I've got a backup and I'm safe. Or we can provide it. We would provide it to people on drives or DVDs or CDs or however. Forever is designed around a wonderful customer experience, so we want our clients to know that we have a plan in place that if things don't work out, because we know that some companies didn't, and I have a story a little bit later about a company that didn't and how they managed it poorly. We talked about the data mining, so
just really quick, a couple of questions have come in. If you had to drop in Amazon Cloud or Google OneDrive or any of those, would you put them kind of in the category where Apple is? Is that sort of about where they would fall?
Yes. The only one that's so the data mining one is tough because it's in that fine print. You'd have to look at each of them individually and decide if that one is a yes or a no. But for the most part, I would agree.
Okay.
So the data mining, we don't sell your data, we don't market to you. The permanent long-term format migration, there's nobody out there offering that. A lot of people are still on the same page of, hey, convert your stuff because then it'll be permanent. And you're like, well, are JPEGs going to exist next year? Are they going to be GIF files? Like, what's the next generation look like? And so that's one of the things that we invest time and research into. Succession for future generations. Now this one's opening up a little bit. I even considered giving Facebook a little bit of a bump because they just instituted that account manager function or something like that. But Forever has always been designed around succession. So in the application, there's an entire page dedicated to an account manager and managing other people's accounts and being able to create a line of succession. I mean, we even have vision for somehow being able to tie in family tree down after we get all these other things that we're working on done. But the idea that we're not just doing it for today, but for the future is the main there. I have a team of wonderful people I mentioned earlier. I'll introduce you to them later in the presentation, but we are real people here to help. Anna will tell you, she emails me and texts me one day, and if I'm awake, I tend to answer. And my team's like that as well. So we don't provide 24/7 service, but I sure would love to see the team grow to be a 24/7 service. And my team works on the weekends to make sure people that get answers to their questions in a reasonable amount of time. Owning your own content, I bring this one up just, again, to make you aware that when you put something in the public domain, it is now the public's opportunity to use it. There's a horrible story about, and I'm not being disparaging towards Facebook because I get it and I, treasure some of the great things it brings to my life, but there's a story written, a woman had her daughter on another person's website where they were touting the phone, and that's great. And I think that that it's important for all of us to recognize the risks that are associated with putting things out into the public domain, because there are sadly people that negative way. Flickr is a great product, but Flickr is not independent. It is not a revenue generating tool. All it does is suck people in so that they put their photos up there and they use it, and that Yahoo can then sell all their data, right? So it's a great tool, but you have to recognize that while it's free and other things that are free, they have the opportunity to own your information, do what they want with it. They could use the pictures for promotions. And again, it's not disparaging towards them. If you're comfortable with not owning your content and the opportunity for people to mine your data, et cetera, it's a fine alternative. And then social media just is not a place where you can be sure that your memories are going to be preserved. I mean, you may remember that Facebook made that decision, hey, we're moving Messenger to another app, right? So Facebook can do whatever they want to. They have very little commitments to their users, and in particular, they don't have a commitment to preserve your photos, your videos, or anything that you put up there. Any questions on this? Okay.
I think
So why should I pay for Forever when I can store my photos elsewhere for free? And frankly, the next two slides are just because I think these kids are cute. So why should you store your things with Forever when you can get it for free? As long as you don't mind that they can shut the service down at any time and not give anything back to you, as long as you don't mind that people can be spying on you, mining your data, as long as you don't mind that there's no money being set aside to preserve your family treasures, go ahead. We believe we provide something unique to families who treasure their family memories and want to make sure that they're in a safe, secure place for future generations, and that you can feel comfortable and safe putting your information in the internet. Now here's the interesting one, right? So what would you find in the fine print? So take a minute and read through some of the different terms of service. They're long, they're hard to read, but you will find things like either party can terminate this agreement at any time by notifying the other party, meaning I can shut my doors tomorrow and you may not get your stuff back. Basic membership is free but supported with ads, so I can promote to you. The one that I wanted to talk a minute about was there was a company, it's called Everpix, and it was a really neat company. They had this interesting algorithm, and what it would do is automatically organize your photos, and it would actually push organized photos to you. So it would like find similar pictures and put them together and be like, hey, look at this. And it was a really, really neat tool. And so the sad part about it was the company, the developers, it was like 4 people, like the developers created this great tool, but they didn't know how to monetize it. They didn't know how to charge for it. And so it's fine when you're a little startup and you get some money and you can build a great product and you can beta test it. But when you get up to 40,000 users and you're in tens and millions or tens of millions and billions, that gets costly. And if you haven't planned for how you're going to pay for it, and you try to go from free to paid subscription to not knowing what to charge for the subscription, and you make some bad business decisions, well, what happens is you go out of business. So really great idea. But what they did was they gave people 2 weeks to get all of their photos out. Now, understand that we had people here at Forever that had used the app, and they had put every single photo out there, and they got 2 weeks before those doors shut. So at Forever, because we have that guarantee fund, it guarantees that we won't be in a position to give you 2 weeks. We'll be giving years, or we'll be providing those files back to you. So I just want to make people aware that the terms of service are long. If privacy, security, and digital rights are important to you, you have to find print. So whenever a sales pitch, we find that an interesting way to approach this was this act. So if you were to, sorry, this is all memory managers and this, so I already know the answer to this question the way we usually position it. Every photo, video that you own, every print, every 8mm film, the kids' art. Think about it in the garages, etc. Computer, and just how much would it take to let somebody destroy all of them? Like how much money would you take to let somebody just erase all of those memories? $50 probably not. $500 probably not. $5,000 you might get a couple dudes out there that are like, I can make new memories. That was a quote.
Your thing's not advancing, Ellie.
Oh, it's not? Oh,
no, it stopped with, I know you hit very impactful what you were, there's something changing on your screen.
Well, so at the, $1 million. So, Anna, it looks like it came back to you.
The screen did? No?
Yeah,
okay.
Screen share.
Okay. Let me switch it back. I don't know what happened there.
No problem. I think everybody gets the idea. They don't need to see my silly splashes.
Did it flip back to you?
Nope. Oh, it says I can take control. Let me see here. No. Nope. Oh, there we go. How'd that?
Not seeing it. On my side, it says it here. Oh, seriously. Come on, GoToWebinar.
Can you see my screen still, Anna?
No.
Okay.
All right, I just switched it back to you again. No. Okay, hold on. Let me show my screen for a second. Sometimes,
Sure.
you guys, can you see my screen? Can you see anything? Can you guys see anything?
I can't. I don't see anything.
Oh, you guys. Okay, so I'm going to shut mine off. I'm going to try one more time to switch it to you.
Sure.
See if you got. No, you didn't get the pop-up?
Mm-mm.
Can you email me the presentation really quick?
I cannot because it has a huge. Oh, I can try.
All right, let me take you being a panelist and then add it back on again.
Okay. Sorry, everyone. Oh, there we go.
All right, good. Okay, there's the slashes. Yay.
So $1 million, and what we found is 64% of people paid no price. Under no circumstances would they give up their memories. And so when we bring that up, then we talk about how you can start at Forever. You can start protecting your memories for as low as $5 a month. So for $5 a month, and as you're paying, it's like you're remember we did that analogy of the real estate. So you're paying your mortgage $5 a month. So after 120 months, you stop paying. So any other service, you're going to continue paying indefinitely if you want to protect your memories. But with Forever, you own it. So we offer 3 different starter packages. We actually have 6 packages online, and we can do custom packages as well. We do a 10 gigabyte, 50 gigabyte, and 100 gigabyte. I'd say that 50 gigabyte is probably the most popular if you did the math across all, like people who've bought really big or really small. I think on average you probably end up at the 50 gig. When I'm talking about Forever, I feel like it's important to let people know that the one-time payment is the way to go. So it's just like if you're going to pay your mortgage. If you have the financial ability to do it, you pay one time up front, and you actually save money, because if you're doing the month-to-month, there's actually sort of a little finance charge on top of it. So you do the one-time payment up front, you're not going to pay again. So you know what you're paying. There's not a little tick against your credit card. It's one time unless you want to add storage or services in the future. So with that, that's sort of the sales pitch on Forever and why Forever. So before we jump into the ambassador program, are there any questions? Are there heads nodding at least?
Yes, let's see. Can you add your storage in one lump sum run low?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
Can you add your storage in one if you run low?
Absolutely. So you can add one at a time. You can add 1 gigabyte at a time, or you can buy in bulk, and in bulk there is a.
All right. So we had so far.
Okay. The ambassador program, and so the ambassador program, a couple of things that we should tell you is on June 1st we're going to brand new store, and we're going to start incorporating the Panstoria brand into the store this summer. So Forever is going to be the very first with the new store. We're going to have media conversion services through the store on June 1st, and we're going to have our new ambassador program. So I just want to say thank you for those of you who are interested in bearing with us for 2 weeks, and you can't wait to start selling Forever and talking about Forever. On June 1st, we're going to transition to the new method, which will be, we believe, much better, and we're really excited. So there are a couple little tweaky, buggy things that we have to work through for the next 2 weeks, but come June, we're really excited about the new offering. So,
but don't stop selling right now, even because of the tweaky, buggy things. Don't stop selling right now, because you guys know that come June, a lot of people are outside and going to hit the sun, and it's right now is just better to get those people before they go out to the beach.
Yeah.
Stop for the next couple of weeks.
Absolutely, and I bring that up just so that you know that we will work through all of them. If you have any problems, we'll work through them. But definitely continue to sell. I think it'll be really easy for all of you. You're very experienced at this as opposed to others. So if you sell a one-time upfront, which is the one that I advocate for, you're eligible for a 20% commission. So 20% on any of the upfront purchases that sell. You're also eligible for 20% on e-services. So if you have clients or people that you know that digitized or VHS tapes digitized, you get 20% on any of those sales. And the payment cycle Forever is pay once a month. And what we do is we typically get that payment about mid-month, the following month. Paid one lump sum. There are no additional fees associated with it, so there's no administration fee on the transaction. There's no there's the only fee is currently associated with the Panstoria print shop as a activation fee, but there's you get the straight commission lump sum. Coming soon, the subscription plan will be the same. So come June 1st, we are going to implement that if you sell the subscription plan, you get 20% of the $5 or the $10 every month. So for 10 years. So as that person's paying for their Forever account over the course of time, or if they decide to pay it off in full, which you're allowed to do, you would get the 20% commission on that. Right now, it's listed as, you'll see it listed in the ambassador program as $10 per subscription. And the rationale behind it, just so that you understand, was the idea that there are affiliate salespeople out there that just throw your link up, and we wanted to encourage people to really try to sell the upfront package rather than just do the subscription. But now that it's beneficial for you, both of them will work in the same manner. The ambassador tool. So if you haven't already signed up, let Anna know, and she can send you the link. It's on the Forever website now. But we're using a tool called Get Ambassador that allows unique URLs, social media, and then also emails that you can monitor to see how you've done and last time you did it, and it allows us to post up different options that we're having. So the easiest way to share is through your memorable URL. So if you log into the Forever application, it's up here on the right-hand corner. You see in that little box. So you can use any of the URLs, and all they do is direct people to Forever to buy. And so any of the URLs will work perfectly. I will take the one that's called the memorable URL. on your dashboard, you can monitor all your activities. So the last time you shared something, whether it be email, Facebook, etc., or if you put a link out. And on the personal URL, you might not be able to see it, but in this case, it has a number next to it. So, gosh, I want to make sure people really can understand it, so I can put my name. You can edit your username in your account. So you can just go into your account settings. You click on the right hand up here, click on account, and you can change your username to whatever suits you, and then that will now be your URL. So mine would be mbsy.co/forever/egatilla. There are 3 ways to promote through the dashboard. So you can use the campaign URL, or you can, there are emails, Facebook, and Twitter, and LinkedIn pre-canned descriptions that you can use. If you don't like them, you can edit them or write your own message. But when you use the application, it'll embed that URL for you, so that you don't have to, which is nice. One thing that you'll notice is up here is this subscription purchase. You have to pick, do you want to do subscription or one time? Either one will work. The system will know what the person or what the buyer has bought, so you don't have to spend a lot of time worrying about that. Either one will work, and they say the same thing in either case. This is where you can see your progress, so you can see how many people have clicked on your link, or how much revenue you've brought in. This will tell you, so this tells you what's been earned, what's been paid to date, what's waiting approval, and what's waiting for a payout. So as you sell, these will become populated. You can also tell, if you click on commissions or payouts, it'll give you the name of the customer who purchased. So that's really helpful. One of the bugs that we're working through is that if we offer a discount, the discounted price isn't coming through to the ambassador dashboard. It's actually the full price. So some people may see a denied line item with a new approved line item beside it. All that is us taking the discounted price out and putting the commission based on the actual sold price. So you get the commission on the price at which it was sold. So we just needed to make sure that we take out that little bit. And then there's a page for payouts. This is a page. This is the assets. So any of the images that we're currently featuring, like this was our holiday offer at Christmas time. This was a link to the explainer video. This was a winter theme. Every time we have a new theme, I put up a new icon and a new description in the assets. So just to revisit, the end-to-end process is, if you refer somebody to Forever, you provide them with the link, and they follow the link, and they go ahead and buy. The ambassador tool will notify you and Forever. We will approve the commission on a close to daily basis, and then we will account for the payout at the end of the month, and then you'll receive payment the middle of the following month. And we do the paperwork as needed. So if you sold something in April, we'll calculate it. We'll say, oh gosh, we don't have a direct deposit form, or we don't have a place to send the check. Then we will ask for it at that time, and then we will provide the check or the direct deposit. So that's it on the ambassador program. Any questions on that? So the really exciting news on our end is that the store, at the end of the summer, at the beginning of September, going into Forever Live, we are going to have a store that allows people to buy and sell Forever accounts, media conversion services, artisan software, artisan art kits, and print, all the printware. So that's super exciting for us. And one affiliate program.
Do you want to tell them about the media conversion boxes? One of the things that I would love for you all to just consider, I don't know how much you might have at your house of things that you need converted, but I think that it's important for us as ambassadors to at least test it out one time, so we know what the process is, so that if we do have somebody that comes to us and said, you know, I do have these VHS tapes, or I do have some old scrapbooks that I want scanned in, or whatever have you, that we actually have gone through the process one time ourselves, so that we're familiar with it and we understand how it all works.
So media conversion services, I reiterate, we will convert anything. So if we've had broken VHS tapes come to us. We've had the gentleman who the legacy video was made for. It was a mug that was a treasure of his, and a blanket that he and his wife received at a wedding. I've received braces, framed items, scrapbooks. So if you have scrapbooks that need to be that are not currently digital, we do scrapbooks. And what I'll tell you is our pricing is very reasonable. So we're not going to try to compete with legacy video or My Memories or places like that, or Costco, or we're out there. We want to provide an end-to-end offering that makes it easy for people. So when we scan everything, we load it up onto your Forever account for you. And if you have it in an order and an album, then we'll order it for you. So it's just, we provide full service conversion services. And, my team, they take great pride in that. So I'll introduce you to the team. So April Hogue, if you call us, she's our #1 girl. She has such a pleasant personality. If you're struggling with something, call her. She'll make you feel better. She's just lovely. Justin Turner is chiefly responsible for our video, and Lauren Gregg she's a jack of all trades. She supports the affiliate program or the master program. She supports the sales team. She does customer support. She does media conversion services. And then Rebecca's picture is not up here because she's not full-time, but she does photo restoration and scanning for us as well. So you can reach them via phone, 1-888-FOREVER. If you want to write it down, it's 1-888-367-3837. Our email address is support@forever.com. And then there's a help tab on the Forever page. It's on the web page. It's also on the in the app, so that if you have questions, you can ask them on the spot. We aim to resolve every ticket within 24 hours, as long as we have control. Sometimes we have to escalate things to our development team, but we aim to finish it, to give 24-hour response. On the weekends, April checks it at least once a day on the weekends and responds. So hopefully you get quick answers. And you can ask them anything. I tell Anna this all the time too. They are just great resources. So if you want to ask about Panstoria, ask them. If you want to ask about how Forever works, ask them. If you want to ask them about pricing or the ambassador program, or you don't see somebody in your list on the ambassador program, call and ask. And they are going to do their best to answer you straight away. And if they can't, they're going to march right into my office and ask me, and we'll get you an answer quickly. The only thing I haven't mentioned is, we're still a new company. So we're in our 3rd year. So about, almost halfway through our 3rd year. We take feedback very seriously. So we do usability studies with people. We do surveys with people. We really want to understand what our users need and want. And so we are about to release here at the end of May. This is the best time to have joined. Here at the end of May, we're going to have a big release that's going to really polish off our organization tools, and it's just, the product is just going to be awesome. So, and that's the result of people talking to us about what their needs were. So we're excited about that. I think that's it. Any questions? So that's all I had. Anna, I told you I would take the whole 30 minutes, or 60 minutes, I'm sorry.
No, I'm glad you did. This is exactly what I think people needed, and you explained it a lot better than I can. I will be able to get there soon, but I needed to hear you do this. There's a couple questions. One about audio tapes. Do you do audio tape conversion?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. And then can you explain just real quick in these last couple of minutes how they get the shipping box to send their stuff?
Sure.
And
we don't, one of the requirements that I had in starting the conversion services was I want to give a white glove service. I want people to feel like their things are safe and secure. So I went back and forth on I should require people buy a Forever or not. For me, running a tight ship and having as much control as possible to ensure the best outcome was the most important thing. So we do require people to buy a Forever box it would it fits about 7 scrapbooks, if that helps. Big, not the 12 by 12s, but 7 traditional scrapbooks in it. And we are going to be offering something smaller come June, but right now that box is $79, and it's crush resistant. It can hold my weight, which is definitely more than 100 pounds. It's water resistant, so we bought aqueous coated paper to ensure that the water wouldn't creep through it. We tape the boxes so that all of the paper is covered, so like on a box, the corrugated paper in between the coating and the inside of the box, we tape all that shut to, again, make sure that no water can get in. And we use FedEx shipping. So for $79, that buys you the shipping service, which is the box, some helpful items to organize and to pack the box. And then it also includes the shipping. So it includes 3-way shipping, which it's one of those things where it just barely covers our costs. So it's not something that we're trying to do as a moneymaker, but more to make sure that our clients know that we've really thought through our process, and we know that Forever Boxes can be well recognized by FedEx, and we have a great relationship with them so that it's loud and they know that their precious memory is in there, and that we can make sure that we can label and watch that box go through the process very, very cleanly. So if you want to buy a box, sorry?
Insurance on the box? Insurance
there is
on the
insurance
box?
on the, of course.
Okay.
And and to buy a box right now, all you need to do is call 888-FOREVER, and the team will take care of you.
Okay. Does anybody else have any last-minute questions before we shut it? Everybody's just saying it's super helpful. Thank you so much. Yeah, it doesn't look like anyone else has any questions. Ellie, I so appreciate you and all of your knowledge and just the way that you explained it all. You know, it's just, this is really, really good for everybody to hear so that they can understand how to go out there and talk to people. We don't need any training on how to sell art as a historian, because we've been doing that for years, at least, you know, those of us that came over from Creative Memories, but none of us had any idea what permanent cloud storage was like a month ago. We're so excited for you to share this with us.
Awesome. Well, I'm on board, and we're thrilled to have you. I can't press that. I know that we're finding the right folks to join the mission, and I can't wait to see the cult-like following come behind you.
Well, thanks, Ellie. Okay, everybody, I did record most of this. I missed about the first 5 minutes, but I did record it. So for any of your teams that did get a chance to hear it, we will have it recorded and available. And thank you so much again, Ellie.
Cheers. Thank you.
Okay, bye.